Hello world, I thought I'd make a video about what kind of a person should not teach English in Korea. I think that's a better way to say it rather than the kind of person who should teach English in Korea. So I'll go through a big list. If you are any of these following types of people, do not come to Korea to teach English. First, if you are Mr. Party Time all the time, and I've seen a couple of these people. You know, the guys who go out to the bars every single day of the week, love drinking, love being sleazy, hitting on women in just really gross ways. Yeah, we don't want you here, we don't need you here. And in fact, you make my life as a expatriate very difficult. So stay home. There are a couple guys like that at my work. They all got fired, thank God. So, yeah. Don't be that guy. You gotta respect the culture here. And you know, yes, it's true. Some old men do get drunk on alcohol every single night. Yeah, we have a different standard. Especially if you're in a classroom with kids. I just find that personally revolting if you're drinking all the time and you go into class drunk. It's just disgusting. Next thing, some people come here and I will call them Koreanophiles. They are just in love with Korean culture and they've watched K-pop on the internet and all this stuff, and they love all Korean dramas, and they expect that when they come here, like, people will just open their arms and just embrace them in their wonderful love and respect for Korean culture. But you know, I've seen some of my people some people who I describe as being that kind of person, and in general, no one cares, frankly. You know, I've been partay to a lot of conversations of, you know, girls being like, "Oh, I watch Korean dramas all the time. Oh, it's so wonderful." But yeah, Korean people, they're just not. It doesn't matter to them. You know, it would be like someone from China or whoever coming to America being like, "Oh, I watched all those shows too." It's like, well, yeah, of course I watched all those shows. I'm an American. Yeah, it doesn't really impress people over here, and they expect it to impress. They expect to make 1 million friends, but that just doesn't really happen. And that's my next point. You know, I actually came here believing that I could make a bunch of Korean friends very easily. Like when I went to Europe, I met people on the first day that I'm still lifelong friends with today. I just got along really well, and I was like, wow, international travel's great. So when I came to Korea, I expected, you know, I'd get off the plane and, like, I don't know, make friends with the cab driver, then I'd make friends with the bellboy, make friends at a restaurant. I just make friends everywhere. And I mean, I have made friends, but not nearly as many as I kind of expected. And it's just, you know, like, yeah, there's a language barrier more over here than in Europe, but I think the bigger issue is the cultural barrier. And then also, you know, a lot of Koreans, they don't, you know, see me as someone who they can really relate to, because, you know, first of all, I'm a foreigner, and people get the understanding that, you know, foreigners, we're only here temporarily. Koreans are here for the long haul. So, yeah, you will meet some Korean people, you will make Korean friends, but you're not gonna get the hordes of followers. And also, some people come here thinking, oh, this will be my great opportunity to travel all over Asia, and I can see and do all my traveling dreams. Well, maybe if you work at a university and you get those 3 months paid vacation, which is fantastic, you can arrange that. But at least me, because I work at a hagwon, I only get 1 week vacation a year. And I packed in 2 years together to go to Thailand. So it's not very easy to see lots of Asia. And so, you know, I wouldn't have the money to do it too. So, yeah, don't think you'll be able to be travel crazy. You can travel all over South Korea, but quite honestly, this is not a tourist country. There's very few things to see. in the sense of seeing diverse stuff. Lots of mountain temples are all shockingly the same, and the theme parks here are a joke. Not not exciting at all. If you like waiting in lines for like 5 hours, well, have at it. I think that it's a good way to get engrossed in another culture, definitely, but you're not going to be able to hop around all over Asia and get a sampler taste of every Asian culture like you'd expect. But here is where you make the big money, and that's why I'm here, because, money's important. Another thing, some people come here and they think like, oh, in America I was such a beautiful girl, or I was such a handsome man, and when they come here, Korean people just fall in love with them or something. But no, that just doesn't happen. The standard of beauty here is shockingly high. And in fact, a lot of my female friends have commented to me saying that like they just feel ugly here because they're surrounded by plastic surgery and crazy diet weight loss Korean girls that set beauty to being near perfection. And then some people have really big difficulties learning Korean. When I came over here initially, I was informed by a Korean friend like, oh, Corey, you don't have to learn Korean, it'll be fine, everyone speaks English. Wrong. Wrong. You have to know basic Korean to get by. Learning how to read and stuff like that, you definitely need to do that if you live here. And I have one friend who's been here close to 2 years. She still doesn't know how to read. Literacy is important, so get on that. You will have to open up your mind to learn the new language. You do not necessarily need to study beforehand. Any kind of studying you do beforehand, before coming to Korea, will help you, but you can actually come here knowing no Korean, and as long as while you're here, you take some time to like learn a new word every day, or use some internet resources to help you learn, you can do it. Especially if you have a Korean friend who's willing to help you. Like, I had a friend who helped me for like 6 months, learned a lot, so that was good.